Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to AussieVerse, where we are talking about our top 5 Batman villains. I am the ever-loving blue-eyed OmniBeau, joined by the gods above me, Steve and Grodd Watson. How are you, boys?
I am very good.
We are very well.
I have blue eyes too.
But are you ever-loving? You've got blue eyes too?
Yeah. Ever-loving, got at my age.
Okay, fair enough then. I will take that back. We are all ever-loving. And if you would like to discuss how much ever-loving we are, you can hook us up. Hook us up? Talk to us on Instagram at AussieVerse_Comx, where you can also check out our graphic designer, thumbnail creator, and editor, designer, and all of the above, A51_designs. Enough of the loving. Enough of the plug-in. Oh my God, I stuffed that up. Let's get down to the loving. And we are going to be discussing Batman top 5 villains. Before we do, guys, I do want to ask individually, can you do your best Batman impersonation? Steve.
Oh, far out, really? It's just a lot of mumbling, isn't it? Just...
But
I sound like I'm in here by a car. It's terrible.
I'm Batman.
That was good. That was good. I was born in the night and the darkness, and I miss my parents. That was mine. Okay, sweet. So,
Congratulations.
Where is he?
that was good. That was good. Who did that one? I missed who did that.
That was Steve.
That was all right.
Steve, that's good. All right. So, how do you want to do this? Do you want to go around 5, 4, or do you want to do each's list?
We'll do the 5, 4, I reckon, yeah.
That one?
I reckon.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet. Grodd, take it away, my friend.
Yes. So, my number 5, also, before we get started, so this topic, top 5 Batman villains, so this is pretty iconic villains Batman is, and there is an argument of debate as who has the best villains, and obviously the main topic is Spider-Man or Batman. Me personally, I like Flash as Rogue's the best, but that's me personally. I'm probably the only person, but yeah, this is also a topic that I'm pretty sure everybody could name a top 5 for Batman villains. Even people that don't read comics, there's at least been 6 or 7 villains in the movie universe or people know about, or on the 66 TV show. Anyway, so I'll get started to one that's actually been in none of them, and that is Man-Bat. At my number 5, Kirk Langston. So this is his solo series. I've actually got a comic with each solo series of my villains. But yeah, Man-Bat. I guess a sympathetic villain. He's sort of a scientist that is working on genetically improving themselves, and he's obsessed with bats, and then he turns into a bat, and then he gets crazy and then starts murdering people, but he's not a bad person, and he has a wife, he has family, he has a sister that loves him and stuff like that, and he's torn between the beast, and it's kind of like a Hulk sort of thing. He's torn between the beast and then the Kirk Langston himself. And yeah, it's an interesting story, Man-Bat. So I've always been drawn to it. So, and he looks cool. So yeah, it's an actual person that looks like a bat. So that's why there's Batman and then there's Man-Bat. So yeah, but they're sort of twisted around the other way, isn't it? Because he looks like a bat, but he's named Man-Bat. But Batman looks like a person dressed as a bat, but he's named Batman.
Yeah. Awesome. I always loved the twist on that with they did a man spider as well for Spider-Man.
Okay. Cool.
Steve-O.
Number 5, I went with the sultry Pamela Isley, also known as Poison Ivy by most people. She's a really cool character. Just, she's hot. she pretty much has got anyone in the palm of her hand with her pheromones. It's just unbelievable what she can do. I mean, we've obviously seen in comics and in especially in the animated movies and that as well. You know, she can overpower Superman.
Oh,
It's
wow.
pretty-
Really?
Yeah, yep. And she's
Wow, I didn't
a great character and plays her. One of the things I really like is the work that she does in. I probably haven't got the right book here, but in the series Deceased, and what she does to try and help people from Earth, she actually almost becomes a bit of a savior rather than a villain, which is kind of cool. So for me, Poison Ivy at number 5, mate. I just think she's gorgeous and she's awesome.
Did you like Uma Thurman's representation?
Honestly, the whole movie was a bit campy, and I thought she was a bit too campy as well. No, she was average. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people loved it, but nah, not really.
It was the tone of the movie. I mean, like it could have been better. Uma Thurman's amazing actor, and I think a great casting for it. But yeah, they just sort of she suffered from the tone of the movie.
Yeah. You got
And what about
Schumacher?
Have you seen Harley Quinn, the cartoon series?
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
What do you think of Poison Ivy in that?
Yeah, good. The portrayal is really good.
Yeah.
That's a great show.
It is. It's really, really good, isn't it?
Fun to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, me too. My number 5 is an absolute psycho, which I tend to like. It's a man that cuts himself every time he makes the kill, and that is Victor Zsasz. I love the idea of just kill someone, cut myself, kill someone, cut myself. And you know what? Every time I've seen him in a Batman comic, which I'll admittedly say I have not read as much Batman as probably you two, he's not really the big baddie, but he's just psycho, man. Like, he's just nuts, isn't he? And there is never any way that you can be on the same side as him. And I've really liked his representation in Gotham as well.
Yeah. He was really good in Gotham.
Yeah,
easily one of the better villains in that show. Yeah,
Gotham. Yeah,
I really enjoyed that show. If I'm being honest, it was really like over the top comic-y, but I really enjoyed it.
Up until the last season, I really enjoyed it too.
Mate, I'll put my hand up and say, yeah, I thought it was a really well done series. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, Victor Zsasz is sort of always a henchman in the area, but he's around, and he's not to be messed with because him himself has a bit of a death wish. He's not afraid of anything, really.
Yeah.
I like to describe him. He's quietly frightening. You know, he's always lurking in the back, but the stuff he can do is it's diabolical.
Yeah.
I nearly put him in my top 5 as well. Great character.
He's just very unpredictable because, there's no length he'll go to, sort of thing.
I wish they'd make a story one day where he's killed so many people, he literally has nowhere else to give himself a cut. And what happens then?
Well,
interesting.
Yeah, there's he makes an appearance in Batgirl, Batwoman, the TV show in CW, for 2 episodes, and he runs out of room, so he starts to have to cut his forehead, stuff like that. So,
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
he starts complaining about it. He goes, "I got no room left," but he wants to keep killing him. So he starts cutting his forehead, and he's bald in that too. Yeah. So yeah.
Sweet.
All right. My number 4, we had talked about her, Poison Ivy. So again, solo series.
That is a great.
Yeah, all these covers have been pretty good. This is actually a really good series, but yeah,
it's beautiful.
Poison Ivy, same thing as Steve said. That's why I didn't probably touch too much more onto it, because I wanted to put out my feelings of it. Because yeah, Steve was right. She's underrated and powerful. Like, she can be the best of the best, and she can be whatever she wants to be in comics, to be basically honest, because she has that much power. She can create, like in Deceased, her own world, and she did in Fear State as well. She created sort of her own safe haven, I guess you could say. And yeah, she's interesting. She's got dynamics to her, and in this series, she's gone back to her villain's ways. She wants to wipe out the humans and stuff like that, because she just cares about the planet. And again, which is these villains I sort of tend to is to like Ultron when I did our top 10 villains is humans are kind of the problem. So yeah, so I like that, but also too now the fact is when she's with Harley Quinn now, you do see a bit of like she's starting to love humanity, like Harley Quinn for some reason is bringing out the love in her in humans, which I think is fantastic. It's so interesting, and they're bringing that out in the comics too at the moment. So yeah, at the moment she's just really interesting. So this is really why I put her in there because yeah. I can't wait every month till this comes out and stuff like that. And I want, like Bo said before, I want an actual movie version now because I reckon there's good potential there. But it's a fine line between, I guess, it feels weird saying this as a male, but over sexualizing her because there's more to her than that.
Yeah,
I feel.
Yeah, mate, you can be sultry without being, I hate to use the word, slutty.
Exactly. So that's where the thin line is because we see her on paper and she looks amazing. As you said, Steve, she looks gorgeous, but there's more to her than that, and that's the main thing that we see. So, yeah.
Great call, mate. Great call.
Yep.
Yeah, question before I jump into mine is, obviously, Mark, you're a bit of a Swamp Thing fan, as many of the viewers of the channel would know, because I don't know a lot about Swamp Thing as well. Has there been a lot of interactions with Poison Ivy and Swamp Thing over the years?
There was that Constantine story, wasn't there? Constantine. There was that story when Justice League Dark was around, where Swamp Thing, Poison Ivy, Constantine, and it was the red and the green, the rot. Do you know the one I'm referring to?
Yeah, is that kind of the new 52 version, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I wouldn't say in the last because she sort of lost her powers for a little bit. I wouldn't say in the last 5-6 years. They run into each other, but not too much. But there's always the connection with Woodrow. So and then that's Swamp Thing's biggest villain, Jason Woodrow, Pharaonic Man. So because Pharaonic Man's responsible for Poison Ivy's creation, so he's always lurking in the dark too. And it's kind of like Pharaonic Man, Jason Woodrow has sort of a power over her. She believes in his vision, even though his one is corrupt. So I think that's interesting. So that's a main connection at the moment. But yeah,
you're gonna have to tell me after the video how this Pharaonic Man created Poison Ivy because I didn't know that.
Yeah, me neither. That's really cool.
In some iterations, he does. Yeah.
Cool. Steve,
number four, I went with the Penguin. So, what do I like about the Penguin? Well, no superpowers, but just an absolute mastermind. Yeah, he's just. I love the portrayal that Danny DeVito did in Batman Returns, especially. I thought he absolutely nailed Cobblepot. Like again, small, chunky man, and he is just psychotic. He's just such a good villain. You know, and all this wacky stuff as well. I mean, you see from the 60s Batman, you got your penguin boats, and in the Batman Returns movie, the penguins have little rocket launchers strapped to them and all that sort of stuff. It's just weird and wacky penguin themed shit, but it works. It works. It's quirky and it works, and that's what I love about it. He's just, again, I know I say this about a lot of people. He's just a really interesting character, and he obviously come from a bad background as well. Being abandoned as a child and fighting his way up through to becoming a crime lord pretty much, and running a major part of Gotham. So yeah, very cool. Penguin number 4 for me. Easy choice, I thought.
Yeah, I got to admit,
Go on, Bo.
I was going to say I love the '60s Batman, and he's doing wah, wah, wah. I used to love that.
Yeah.
Burgess Meredith was brilliant. I think really good.
Iconic a character. So yeah, he's Cobblepot's awesome. And another one, as we were talking about Gotham before, I thought he was the best character on the Gotham TV show.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
yeah.
What's the guy's name? Played Robin. What's his name? Oh, I can't remember his last name. But he was excellent. He was really good.
Yeah. Really enjoyed it.
Well, my number 4, and I don't know if I'm going to get this right because, like I said, I haven't read as much Batman as you. So either clap your hands and say good work, Bo, or laugh and give me shit. But he was born on a Monday, died on a Tuesday, rised on a Thursday, something like that. Solomon frickin' Grundy. I love the Frankenstein monster. He is an absolute beast. And every time you see him, just like the Hulk, man. I love how he can be used, manipulated. He's just a powerhouse. He's unkillable. Just awesome.
I think with his character too, I think of his character too, you can sort of write him into sometimes being a good guy because he sort of just follows people that are nice to him. Sort of thing.
I have been waiting for years for a Solomon Grundy Bizarro team-up book.
Whoa. Is it getting hot in here? That's awesome. That's a good idea, man. Where'd you come up with that? Holy shit.
I have ideas sometimes. Get DC on the phone.
There's got to be someone pulling the strings, though.
Yeah. I know you're talking about Solomon being unkillable, mate. There's actually a really great scene. I can't remember if it's Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, the TV series, where Solomon Grundy actually dies in Hawkgirl's arms. It's actually quite a sad scene. And he peacefully passes away after some injury or something. Yeah, it's actually quite sad. It's really, really well done.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen those shows in a long, long time, but I have them all on DVD, so maybe I'll watch them again sometime soon.
Well, he's in the same. Yeah, great pick. He's in the same conversation as Bizarro. I mean, like when we have our top 5 Superman villains, that he might pop up in that too. But you sort of secretly, no matter what side he's on, you sort of secretly barrack for him.
Yeah,
he gets through. He's one of those guys you're just going, "Come on, champ."
Yeah.
All right. So my number 3. So I'm right behind you, Steve. So my number 3 is Penguin.
How was that issue?
This issue was great. This is my favourite of the One Bad Days so far. I thought it was amazing. Just like we touched on before with Steve, I love Penguin. I love the fact is basically Penguin is almost one of Batman's most threatening villains, even though we don't care to admit it sometimes. Purely the fact is people underestimate him. People are constantly doubting him, and he will use that. People just going, he's just a little short, tubby, bald guy, and he will use that. And you don't turn your back on him. He will get you and stuff like that. I think he's so interesting. I think he's smarter than everybody thinks he is in the comics. So he's ridiculously intelligent. And he's a man that's driven too. Like he's basically just like Danny DeVito. Like even when you talk about Danny DeVito playing him, remember when he was in Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and they just said, "You've been given the dregs," sort of thing out of the two. Schwarzenegger's this big muscly guy. That's what Penguin, he's been given the dregs of the gene, and for some reason he just got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove everyone wrong, and he's really determined for it, and he'll do anything for it. I find that, I don't know why, I find that really interesting, just like Steve said. So constantly, I get excited when he pops up in comics. I do. So yeah, Penguin 3 for me.
Fair enough. Is that Steve now?
3 for me. So yeah, pretty much the big guy. So Bane, the guy who I like to say in the Batman movies, actually sounds like he works at a supermarket doing price checks. It sounds like. But yeah, especially I really enjoy the Nightfall arc. Yeah, so I've got how many volumes I got? I think I've got 3. Yeah, I've got all 3. Yeah, the Nightfall arc.
In the darkness.
That's it. Very good. You did that well, mate.
Oh, you think darkness is your eye?
I just love in Harlequin all the time, the cartoon suit. I just wanted to buy some pasta.
He's very good in that.
I was wondering who would go up first.
Just a great villain. The concept of being able to, pretty much press a button and just lose his shit and become, I don't really know what to say about him apart from he's just freaking cool as.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super cool. I actually I enjoyed Tom Hardy's portrayal in the movies, but I also found it a bit hard to understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, very, very cool, and super smart as well. Highly underrated for his intelligence. He's not, because he's big. He's not. People might think big people not too bright. He's actually extremely intelligent.
Well, how many people can break into that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very, very cool design too. I feel like Bane looks great on paper or on a video game or even in the movies.
Not so much Batman Forever.
Yes, but we'll forget about that one again. We've mentioned that too much tonight already.
When they cut the tubes and you turned in this weedy little guy, like a stick insect, freaking massive. That was hilarious.
What would you think, Steve? Personal opinion.
Bane for 3 for me. What are you, Bo? Who's your?
Oh, hang on. I think you got a bit of a lag there, Steve, because Mark was asking a question. Mark, go for it.
Well, my question is, because there's been some rumours, and even he's advocated it a bit. What would you feel like Batista being Bane?
No.
I know you don't like him, Bo.
No.
Don't say it.
Oh, okay. He's paused for a minute. He'll come back. I'm dying to hear his answer to that because Batista, I don't think is a good actor, man. I just don't. Hopefully he changes one day. I change my opinion one day, but I just don't think so. Steve, are you there? No, you're not.
No.
All righty.
Yeah, I'm here, mate.
Oh, okay. You are? Okay. Sweet. Mark just asked you, what do you think of Batista as Bane?
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Wow. That's an interesting concept. Again, not the greatest actor, but I don't know. He has a presence. That's for sure.
Anybody that size.
To be honest with you, I don't know if he could pull it off.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. True. No. I'd say overall, probably no.
Yeah. I'm up in the air about it. I don't know who else would be suitable for it. That could be a good actor as well. Not that Batista's a good actor, but then I watched Dune, and he's that villain in that one, and he looks kind of a bit Bane-ish in that as well. So I could sort of see it, but maybe he doesn't get as many lines. So, yeah. Your number 3, Bo.
My number 3 is one that I am pulling right out of left field, one that nobody would have expected, one that nobody would have on their list. I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the first time this OmniBeau ever saw this actor on the screen, and from then on, always made him think he was a weird, freaky kind of guy. I am talking about Maximilian Schreck. That's right. From Batman Returns, Christopher frickin' Walken. That guy, I'm telling you, I'd never seen Christopher Walken before. That was the first movie I'd ever seen him in. And he freaked me out. Just his look was freaky. And then when he dies at the end, when Catwoman kisses him and the and he's just a skeleton with the hair, mate, that stayed with me forever. It took me a good 10 years after that of growing up and watching movies and seeing Christopher Walken in other roles before I could stop looking at Christopher Walken as Maximilian Schreck.
Yeah.
I was going to say that build-up, mate. I thought you were going to say Professor Pig.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, that's a very nice pick there. It's very
Great.
It's quite interesting and fascinating how strange that feels. Sorry, my Christopher Walken impression is not quite up to scratch.
Oh my god!
Holy shit!
Next, whatever event that I have that you are invited to, you have got to do a speech with your Christopher Walken impersonation because that was amazing.
Hello, everyone!
Oh,
everyone out there! I promise you.
Oh mate, Grodd. Oh Jesus! All right,
Grodd, Steve, number 2. Oh, is it me? It's me, man. Me number 2.
We're doing lap.
Yeah. So my number 2 is Two-Face, Harvey Dent. It's one bad day. This one was a little bit of a letdown. This bad day. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't too good. But yeah, I'm a Harvey Dent fan. Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry, I was going to ask. Out of the two faces, which one's your favourite?
I like the Harvey Dent side. So
fair enough.
Well, I think it's fascinating the rise and fall of Harvey Dent. So it always has fascinated me. I've got the original Harvey Dent issue as well, the first Two-Face issue solo, and yeah, it's just fascinating. It's very, even to this day, Batman still believes in Harvey Dent. Just wants to sort of see Harvey Dent, not the Two-Face. Sort of wants to see him reformed. I think it's great. Again, he doesn't really have much powers. He just has, well, he's crazy, or one half of him's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Just Two-Face every time he rocks up, it's interesting as hell. It's you don't know what you're going to get because sometimes he is good, and sometimes he has the right intentions, and then sometimes he is horrible and has the exact opposite sort of thing. So, and then the stories like Long Halloween and stuff like that, that were amazing, sort of stuff like that. So, yeah, the flip of the coin, leave it up to chance. Man, he was great in The Dark Knight. I think very underrated performance because we had Heath Ledger as the Joker. But I honestly enjoyed his story arc the best in that movie. So, but yeah, that's me.
Yeah, true. Have you seen the cartoon series The Batman?
No, I have not. No.
It's the cartoon show that came out after Batman Begins or The Dark Knight, based on Christopher Nolan's Batman. And obviously, Batman, the animated series, is the best Batman cartoon of all time. We all agree on that. However, The Batman, it's a solid show, man. It's very close to Batman, the animated series. You've obviously seen it, Steve?
Yep. Have you seen the Batman versus Dracula, the movie?
Yes, that's from the same series.
It's correct. Yeah, very good. Very good. Mark,
Yeah.
check it out, mate. You really enjoy it. Good series.
I'll lend you the DVDs, Mark, next time I see you, because I think it's about, I don't know, maybe 5 DVDs.
Oh, okay.
So it's not that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good show.
Yeah. The other great series I love, and going for a tangent for the moment, is Batman Brave and the Bold. That was a great series.
I never got into it. But again, because I'm probably the biggest DC guy, if it was a Marvel show in that sense, I might have liked it a lot more. But yeah.
I tend not to get into animated series. It just never was.
It's worth getting.
Fair enough.
Yeah. We're down to number 2
Batman
now.
Having a look at, mate. Really well done.
Cool.
Number 2. Mark, have you done your second?
Yeah.
You have Two-Face. Yeah. Number 2 for me is the Clown Prince. So I went, oh, that's cool. Yeah, Joker. We don't really need to say much about the Joker apart from he is just one of the most iconic villains for any superhero genre. You say Batman, everyone automatically can identify the Joker as he's probably his key villain. Not my favorite villain, but obviously one of the greatest villains of all time, I reckon, across not just the superhero genres, but other movie genres and other book genres and stuff as well. He's scary, he's smart, he's manipulative, he's just a really, really powerful character. And again, for someone with no super abilities, he's as scary as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree. Number 3, Joker.
I loved the new 52 Joker with the face.
Yeah.
I love that. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with Joker, for me, like he was always up there for me, but now it's just I'm a little bit worn out of Joker. But in saying that, just any sort of person that wants to or just watches Batman, doesn't even have to be comic book fans. They know about the Joker and they know, yeah, it's cool. And it kind of is what, just me personally, I think it's what's risen Batman into such popularity is the Joker being the Joker, because it's such an interesting tussle between the two of them, because Joker just wants to push Batman to that point, and he doesn't care about killing Batman. He just wants to push him to that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
He also realizes, mate, that without Batman, he's nothing.
Yeah.
They complement each other. They have to both exist, because if one goes, the other can't fall away. That's my opinion anyway.
100%.
But yeah.
100% agree.
What about you?
My number 2, which has been my number 1 for a long, long time, but my number 2 is the Riddler. And I've always had a big fascination with the Riddler which is why I was so excited about the Batman movie that came out. The only representation we ever had of Riddler was Jim Carrey, which was obviously way over the top. But the Riddler I've always been fascinated with because he doesn't care about the money. He doesn't care about the murders. He doesn't even necessarily, as far as what I've read, I could be wrong, he doesn't even necessarily care about Batman like the Joker does. He just cares about the game.
Mm.
And that fascinates me. And not only that, but like, even in every TV show and movie, coming up with those riddles, man. Like, you know, if you want to read a Batman comic with a villain and feel stupid, read the Riddler, because I can't get his riddles, you know. And it's great, you know, and that's why I appreciate Batman, because you just turn a page and he gets them and you're like, great, I don't need Google. But the Riddler's just really, really fascinating to me. Always really, really, I've been in awe of him. In fact, I really loved, you said the Penguin was the standout villain of Gotham TV show. And I'm not disagreeing. He was very, very good. However, I'd put in a solid argument that the Riddler in the Gotham TV show was really damn good.
Agreed. They're definitely the top two. I could go either way. I'm happy with either one. It was fantastic. And I love the backstory, how he was part of the GCPD as well. He was kind of like working like a Dexter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought that was fantastic. Yeah, agree, Bo. I'm happy with that argument.
I think it's a great call. And the other thing too, in Gotham, just watching him develop from being slightly quirky to slowly starting to lose his shit a bit. It was actually a really way watching him sort of, I guess, darker every episode that went along. It was really well done.
Well, see, that's what annoys me, where because you can't buy all the comics that you could possibly want, and you're always going to miss out on something. I don't read Batman continuously anymore, but obviously in the previews and the solicitations and all that, you read what's happening in the little blurbs. And I remember a little while ago, the Riddler, I think, was working with Batman to solve something. And then there was war of jokes and riddles. And there's just all these storylines that I've never read that kills me not being able to read them. And I'm just thinking, well, one day I will, One day I will.
Well, I think we've discussed you can have my jokes and riddles, war of jokes and riddles.
Thanks.
So, yeah. The Tom King's Riddler was. You might be disappointed, but I'm interested to see what you think of Tom King's Riddler.
Yeah,
but I agree with you. He's got that different dynamic where he is a guy that just wants to win the game, just like you said. He wants to be the smartest. He doesn't care about anything else. It's funny. There's that One Bad Day of those single issues that came out. The first one that came out was Tom King's version of the Riddler. And it showed when he was a kid and he had a teacher that he was so smart and his dad driven him to be so smart. And the teacher was teaching him and he'd get every question right. And in the very end, he'd put down a riddle and he could never get that riddle. And that's what pissed him off. So he practiced and practiced to get riddles. And that's what made him.
Wow.
I thought that was an interesting take.
I can't remember I can't remember what I saw this in, but it would have been some comic once upon a time where like the Riddler pretty much had Batman beat. And Batman was like ignoring the riddle, and just wanted to fight him. And Riddler's like, I've beaten you, but you're ignoring what's the answer to the riddle? And Batman's like, I don't care. I want to get out of it. He's like, but you're ignoring the riddle. Fine, I'll let you go, but you've got to get the riddle. It was just like, you're nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good pick again. All right.
Yeah.
So we're number one.
Really good.
Yes, we are. We are down to number one, which means time for a countdown. I'm joking. We're not going to wait 30 seconds. All right. Number one.
This is about to duck out to the loo. My number one always has been. He's one of my favorite characters in comics. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite characters in comics. And that is, I love that picture. But that is Mr. Freeze. This is his One Bad Day. Mr. Freeze, yeah. Victor. I've always been, well, even before the Arnie version, which I don't think was that bad, just needed to get rid of the puns.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. Good body.
Everybody, chill.
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
This is really cool.
Yeah. But, yeah. So a fascinating story. Like he has the perfect life, and then she comes down with an illness. He is a scientist. He can't find the cure, so he freezes her. But in the process, disfigures himself or makes himself go crazy. And then all of a sudden, he has to find the cure and he has to find stuff to keep himself alive. so he can give the cure to his wife, and he's driven. You get it, and that's a main thing. You get his situation. You don't want to go to this extreme of killing somebody, but you also do get the situation. I think that's a dynamic that really plays on this story. I think it can't be done too often in comics. So if there are Mr. Freeze fans out there, he doesn't appear that much because, to be honest, there's not much more you can do besides the whole "I want Nora back," blah blah blah, without tarnishing his good heart. So yeah, I love Mr. Freeze. We were just talking about Arnie. I would love to see like a Matt Reeves version or a Nolan version of Mr. Freeze. I think this is a character that can absolutely steal cinema and superhero movies as we speak, because it would literally make people cry for the villain. It could do. If we get the perfect actor, we get the perfect story, right tone. I think this is a gold mine for somebody to just go back and go, that's a damn good movie, because that dude, whoever played Victor Fries, stole the show. Yeah, it's just such an gripping story. And I also, too, I think it's a cool look. It looks sort of spaceman-y, but I think it's a cool look.
Yeah. It's very hard not to have. Yeah, it's very hard not to have Mr. Freeze on your top 5 if you watched Batman the Animated Series. That episode, isn't it?
Yeah, I forget the exact word for word, the first scene of it. Rest well, my love, for the vengeance is the best served dish cold.
Yeah. To be honest with you, like, obviously I think Spider-Man's villains are the greatest of all time and all that. But if you actually made a Joker-like movie for Batman villains, like you just said for Mr. Freeze, I honestly think most of Batman's villains would make an awesome solo movie.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, great. Stand alone.
Agree. Yeah. Agree. Steve, number 1.
Number 1 for me. So I went out on a little bit of a tangent. Probably a lot of people are going, oh, why isn't Joker number 1, all that sort of stuff. Well, it's done on favourites. So for me, my favourite Batman villain is Scarecrow. I love the whole concept behind Jonathan Crane, the fact that he's, a therapist and basically trying to screw with people's minds. I think one thing also too, I noticed with a lot of Batman characters, a lot of them are actually very intelligent, the villains. I mean, if I look at my list as well, got Bane in there. They're all, he's got a pretty intelligent bunch of villains. So, but yeah, Jonathan Crane, therapist, obviously has a really good understanding of chemistry as well. That's why he's able to create his fear toxin and things. And you've seen how well that goes in comics, in the movies, in the Arkham games as well. And the whole design of the character, all the way through from Batman the Animated Series right through to the stuff that's in the Arkham games, it's just a great design. It's just it's creepy as shit.
Yeah,
that's what I do like my horror movies and stuff. So,
well, if I may, the hand in the picture with those needles.
Yep.
That's scary as hell, isn't it? Yeah, man. That's Freddy Krueger shit.
Yep. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, exactly right. Sorry, Mark, you go, mate.
I was going to say it's a very good Halloween outfit sort of thing. And just as you said, Steve, it grabs the horror movie vibe to it. And it really can play on it. And again, another one I reckon could do a bit more of a vamp up in a TV show or a movie. I think they could do more of him than they have. But yeah, I think you're right, Steve. That's an interesting pick. It's a very interesting pick, Steve. I'm very surprised, and I'm happy though. That's great.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have thought that as number 1.
Yeah, just something a little bit different because I'm just attracted to the character. I just think his look is probably the biggest thing that really gets me. But the backstory behind him as well, that he knows all about people's minds and he's screwing with them, and now he's coming up with bloody chemicals and stuff to make things even worse, and just really, really, really cool character. So yeah, I'll go Scarecrow number 1.
I think with him, especially what I've been reading recently, I think there's no reforming him. He actually is a bad person.
Yeah, 100%.
Just what I've read, I'm just like, he's not a guy that's sympathetic or anything like that. He's just flat out evil. He wants to bring out the fear in everybody.
Yeah, unlike Mr. Freeze, mate, you can't feel sympathy for this bloke.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. He's just, yeah. So, over to you, mate. Number one.
My number one, I have always said that I would love. Well, you're laughing. You know already, don't you?
I know who it is.
I have always said I would. Sorry?
It's Professor Pig, isn't it?
I would love to see this character in a movie. I doubt it will ever happen. Highly doubt. Because it's, you know, you could make such a better movie with Scarecrow, Man-Bat, Penguin, Poison Ivy, Two-Face. Why would you have this character in a Batman movie? However, if they ever did it and they did it seriously and not as a joke, it would be creepy as hell if they took it seriously. Why would I have one villain as my number one when I can have two? Scarface, the ventriloquist. That is the bomb Batman villains, mate. It absolutely fascinates me that you have this weak-ass, pathetic butler-looking criminal guy that honestly believes that he's not the bad guy, the crime boss. He's serving the crime boss. And the crime boss is a freaking puppet that will talk like a 1930s mob boss, has taken the name Scarface, and will moiter the shit out of you. It's the dynamic there is, oh mate, I mean, I'm gonna get shut up. No, you were no, that's just, I love it.
Yeah,
Really?
that's an interesting. I knew this one was coming, but that's an interesting one. And you said it with the movies. I as you said, I don't think we'll get even on TV shows. We'll get him as the number one villain, but it wouldn't hurt to have him just as that side character, like Penguin was in the new Matt Reeves. Just have him
But
there.
imagine how creepy it would be in a movie.
Hey,
Imagine how creepy it would be in a movie.
everyone's creeped out by a ventriloquist doll. Like this is gold. You can use this.
It's all.
Yeah.
The Saw movie.
Yeah.
That's a creepy
Exactly,
ass
man.
Yeah. You want to play a game?
Yeah. And another one who was pretty, even though very short-lived stint in Gotham. He was pretty good in that.
Oh, was he in Gotham?
Yeah.
I don't remember him in Gotham. Shit.
I think he was the lawyer for a little bit. I can't remember. It was a lawyer or something like that with Jim Gordon. And he ended up turning crazy and he got a ventriloquist doll.
Oh,
But he looks exactly like...
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think he was a lawyer, right? Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go. I mean, who would win in a fight? Ventriloquist, Scarecrow, or Mr. Freeze? I'd have to say probably not ventriloquist.
I'm going to almost have to say Scarecrow's got this one coming.
I was thinking, man, I reckon Freeze has got with his technology and his freeze weapons and stuff. Scarecrow's got to get close enough to do some damage. But anyway.
Yeah. Freeze has got a lot of demons inside, so if Scarecrow can bring them out, Freeze will freak out.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Still be an interesting one. Like the three number ones that we have are no heavy hitters, are they?
Yeah. Look, if I'm being really honest, of course Joker should be on it, but you know, there's just so much Joker everywhere. You do get burnt out.
Yeah. Agree. And it's not that we all love the Joker. Joker's fantastic. He is necessary. I think if he wasn't in comics, I think Batman wouldn't be where he is today.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we do got to give appreciation for Joker.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, that's it.
That's it. We're done.
Well done. That was very interesting.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, everybody. This has been AussieVerse's top 5 Batman villains. We will be back for another live chat shortly. We do have other videos in the pipeline. A couple you might not expect. Keep your eyes peeled. Simon. We will see you later, guys. Catch you later. And just remember, AussieVerse, as normal, is
life. I should have done Christopher Walken voice. Next time.
Yes.
Say
every intro now, Christopher Walken.
Do the sponsor then, Grodd.
What's that?
Do the sponsor, Christopher Walken.
Now, another word from our sponsor.
Come on.
This show is sponsored by the Comx shop. Check out comx.cx for all things Comx and find out what Comx is all about. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Sponsor!